Hello students, welcome to NWT. In this video, we will be talking about nitrogen cycle. So our atmosphere is made up of 78% of nitrogen. We need nitrogen for the formation of DNA and proteins in our body. But do you know that we cannot take nitrogen directly like we can take oxygen? Moreover, plants also cannot take nitrogen directly by the atmosphere. So what happens that nitrogen follows a cycle where it travels from the atmosphere to the soil, to the animals, and then back to the atmosphere. So this cycle is known as nitrogen cycle. What we are going to learn in this particular lecture is about the processes that is being followed while nitrogen cycling is happening and what is the role of the bacteria in the nitrogen cycle. So what happened that nitrogen falls on the Earth's surface by precipitation and lightning, okay, in the form of rain or snow. Once it reaches the surface of the earth, so in soil, it makes its way for the bacteria. Here, what bacteria does, it combines the nitrogen with the hydrogen to make ammonium gas. Okay, this ammonium gas in a process which is called nitrogen fixation. Okay, then next what happens that this ammonium gas is toxic, so it is acted upon by some special type of bacteria present in the roots of the soil, and they combine this ammonium gas with oxygen to form nitrate in a process called nitrification. Now, this nitrate is useful for the plant. Now, plant can take this nitrogen. So what happened? Plants take this nitrogen in a process called nitrogen assimilation. Okay. So what do you understand by the meaning of assimilation? Assimilation means absorption. Absorption of what? Nitrogen. Nitrogen by whom? Plants and animals. Okay. Then what happened? This nitrogen passes through the food chain. Food chain means from producers to consumers to decomposer. First it is consumed by herbivores. Then herbivores were eaten by carnivores like lion. And when both these producers and consumers die, then decomposers act upon them. Okay, we will see it further. What happened? So when this dead and decaying matter is acted upon by a decomposer like fungi, what happened? Some of the nitrogen gets released back to the atmosphere in the form of nitrogen gas. Okay. Moreover, some of the nitrogen get converted back to the plants in the form of nitrates in a process called ammonification. Okay. So let's elaborate it further. What happened? In various stages of decay process, the denitrifying bacteria convert the nitrate into gaseous nitrogen and release it back to the atmosphere in a process, what this process called? Denitrification. Denitrification means we return back the nitrates into the atmosphere. Also, what happens when an organism dies, you can see here in this picture, what happened when an organism dies, they are acted upon by microorganisms like decomposers. Okay, so what they do, they broke down this ammonia, they broke down the proteins. They broke down the proteins of the organism into ammonia compounds. And then it gets further divided into nitrites and then finally to nitrates in a process called ammonification. And these nitrates then re-enter the cycle with the help of the plants. Okay, so let's summarize what we have studied till now. What happens that the atmospheric nitrogen, which is about 78% in the atmosphere, they come to the Earth's surface by lightning, precipitation, etc. When it comes to the soil, there are bacteria present here which convert it into ammonium gas in a process called nitrogen fixation. Okay, once nitrogen fixation happens, what the bacteria does, it converts the ammonium gas into nitrates in a process known as nitrification. After nitrification, what happens? This nitrogen is intaken by plants and animals as well in a process called nitrogen assimilation. After nitrogen assimilation, what happens? Both the producers and consumer die and they are acted upon by decomposers. And what does decomposers do? Either they release the nitrogen gas back to the atmosphere in a process called denitrification, or they return back this nitrogen to this cycle by the process called ammonification. So this is about nitrogen cycle. Now we will see how is nitrogen cycle harmed. So the nitrogen cycle is harmed by cutting trees. What happens when you cut a tree? You not only cut the tree, but you make the microorganism also dead, which are attached to the roots of these trees. So what happened when these microorganisms die? There is no nitrogen fixation. So very less amount of nitrogen enters into the soil. Next, what happened? We are adding a lot of fertilizers nowadays to our crops. Okay. So what this is doing, this is polluting our soil, means adding extra nitrogen to the earth, which is also harmful. Okay. So this is it from my end. What we have learned in this chapter is how atmospheric nitrogen keep recycling itself for our own benefit. Okay. So this is it from my end. Thank you. If you like this lecture, do share and subscribe. Thank you.